we're going to talk about how you can figure out what finger patterns you might play with a given song. If you're more of a strummer, I've got a similar video on strumming pattern choices. I'll leave a link for that in the description. Now, if you're trying to match a recording, just listen to the recording and do the best you can to match what you hear. Otherwise, the choice of fingerstyle patterns is up to you. So let's talk about how we can narrow down your choices. There's no rule that says you must play such and such pattern with such and such song. You can do whatever you want with it. Now, it helps to have a few go-to fingerstyle patterns already under your fingers in 3/4 time and in 4/4 time. 4/4 is more common, so let's take a look at a few standard patterns. There's this pattern that's all quarter notes, and it's simply finger thumb, 1, 2, and 3. And counting is 1, 2, 3, 4. With thumb always on 1. You could double the speed of that and count 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Same pattern, we're just playing eighth notes instead of quarter notes. And going back to quarter notes, you can play thumb, finger 1, and then on beat 3, play fingers 2 and 3 at the same time, and then back to finger 1 on beat 4. That's counted 1, 2, 3, 4. You could double the speed of that as well, play eighth notes instead. Counted 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and some common patterns in 3/4 time. Here we have thumb on beat 1, finger 1 on beat 2, and then on beat 3, fingers 2 and 3 at the same time. That's counted 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then this pattern, we have thumb on beat 1, first finger on the and of 1, so those are going to be eighth notes, and then on beats 2 and 3, you're going to be playing fingers 2 and 3 at the same time. So that's going to be counted 1 and 2, 3. And we have this continuous eighth note pattern that's simply thumb, 1, 2, 3, 2, and 1. And again, all eighth notes, so that's counted 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. Once you know a few fingerstyle patterns, the first thing you want to do is figure out what time signature your song is in. If you have a lead sheet, all you have to do is check the start of the music. If you don't have a lead sheet, you'll either have to already know the melody or you'll need a recording. Either sing the melody or listen to the recording and tap along. If you can feel a strong pulse every 4 beats, go tell it on the mountain, over the hills, and 1, 2, 3, 4, then you're probably in 4/4 time. If you can feel a strong pulse every 3 beats, we 3 kings of Orient, 1, 2, 3, then you're probably in 3/4 time. So let's say your song is in 4/4 time. Sing the song and play some of those fingerstyle patterns. Just try them out, see what you like, see what you don't. And they don't have to be my patterns, they can be your patterns. They just have to be in 4/4 time. So here we have Go Tell It on the Mountain. It's in 4/4 time. The first thing we want to do is just audition some of our fingerstyle patterns, see what works. Pattern number 1. Go tell it on the mountain, over the hills, and now here we run into a problem. The pattern takes a full measure, 1, 2, 3, 4. But in this measure we have a D and a G, so we're going to have to interrupt the pattern. So that's not going to work very well, but we could double the speed, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Same pattern, we're just playing eighth notes. Go tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere. So that works a lot better. Let's try pattern number 3. Actually, let's not try pattern number 3. We're going to run into the same problem here because we're in quarter notes, and when we get to that 4th measure, we're going to have to interrupt the pattern. So that's not quite going to work. But again, we could double the speed. Go tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere. For my taste, out of the patterns that we've been using so far, I would probably go with that last pattern, but that doesn't have to be your choice. Again, you can do whatever you want with it. Pattern just has to be in 4/4 time. Now there is another section in this song, and when there's a different section, it's not a bad idea to try the different pattern just for variety. Back to pattern number 1. While shepherds kept their watching o'er silent flocks by night. Pattern number 2, which doubles the speed of that. While shepherds kept their watching o'er silent flocks by night. Pattern number 3, back to a quarter note pattern. While shepherds kept their watching o'er silent flocks by night. Or double the speed of that one. While shepherds kept their watching o'er silent flocks by night. All 4 of those work pretty well, but for my taste, I think I would go with pattern number 1, that simple. I think it makes a nice contrast to the first pattern, but again, you could choose another pattern. Now, if you decide that the pattern you chose for the first section works even better for the second section, go ahead and use it for the second section, go back to the first section, re-audition some patterns. Now, let's say your song is in 3/4 time. Go through the same process. Sing the song, try out some patterns, either some of mine, some of yours. Doesn't matter, they just have to be in 3/4 time. So here we have We Three Kings in 3/4 time. We have 3/4 patterns that we can audition. Let's give them a try. Pattern number 1. We three kings of Orient are. Pattern number 2. We three kings of Orient are. And pattern number 3. We three kings of Orient are. All 3 of those work pretty well. For my money, I think I would go with pattern number 2. But again, the choice is up to you. This one also has another section, so let's try out some of those patterns again, see if we can find a different pattern for section number 2. Pattern number 1. Star of wonder, star of night. Pattern number 2, which we're using in the first section. Star of wonder, star of night. And pattern number 3. Star of wonder, star of night. All 3 of those patterns work pretty well. I think for my taste, I would go with that last pattern, that flowing 8th note pattern. I think it makes a nice contrast to the first section. But as I've been saying, you can choose whatever pattern you like. My pattern, your pattern, they just have to be in 3/4 time. Check out these videos if you're looking for some fingerstyle patterns. And for more guitar lessons, music theory, and solo guitar arrangements, please subscribe.